Jojo Siwa's career may seem like the relentless energy of someone who never learned how to whisper. But when the world turned on Jojo, the noise around her grew louder than anything she could scream over. And as millions pointed fingers, mocked, and turned her into a daily punchline, Jojo did something that surprised everyone. She answered, and not with tears or an apology, but with a strategy that turned every insult into free promotion, and every parody into a stream of her latest song.
Suddenly not so.
This isn't the story of a child star trying to stay relevant. It's the story of how Jojo Siwa took hate and turned it into currency. It started when Jojo decided she was done being the rainbow-sprinkled YouTube kid. In her eyes, it was time to be taken seriously as an artist, so she bleached her hair, changed her style, and dropped a single she believed would redefine her career. But to the internet, it wasn't a rebrand. It was an opportunity. Within days, her TikTok comment sections turned into open mics for roasting sessions. Clips of Jojo's new song were stitched into parodies where people mocked her voice, her lyrics, and every second of her performance. Her attempts to pivot into a new era were drowned out by a chorus of laughter, with some comments gaining more likes than her own videos. And while it may have looked like Jojo was spiraling into a PR nightmare, the reality was far more calculated. People didn't just clown on Jojo, they built a content pipeline out of her song. Parody videos started flooding TikTok, each one more brutal than the last. Some dressed up in cheap wigs, others twisted her lyrics into open mockery, and a few even used AI filters to create uncanny versions of Jojo singing lines she never wrote. The internet was relentless. It wasn't just one or two creators jumping on the trend, it was an entire wave of ridicule that turned Jojo's song into a meme, and her attempt to shed her past image into a carnival of content for millions to watch. But Jojo wasn't ignoring it. Instead of disappearing or trying to silence the mockery, Jojo began duetting the parodies on TikTok. She laughed along, captioning one response, "Funny but inaccurate," before telling viewers they might as well stream the song if they were going to keep singing it.
Get it all real bad, girl.
Why do we dress like that?
I don't know. Why do we sing about our exes?
Why do we talk like we were out screaming all night without our inhaler?
Because I'm hoarse from being out all late last night doing whatever's bad nowadays, and also probably from recording some dope tunes.
It wasn't just a clapback. It was a play to funnel every view, every share, every mocking duet into streams for her song. Jojo Siwa turned every ounce of negativity into promotion, using the backlash as her marketing team without paying a single dollar. But this wasn't the first time Jojo turned hate into fuel for her brand, and it wouldn't be the last, because what happened next would show how Jojo Siwa is mastering a strategy most creators fear to touch. This wasn't a moment of desperation, it was a pattern. Jojo had faced criticism before, dancing videos people ridiculed, old songs that drew sarcastic comments, and public breakups that turned into gossip fuel. Each time she took the backlash and doubled down, posting more dance clips, more videos, and keeping her name in conversations, even when those conversations were soaked in sarcasm. It's easy to write this off as ignorance, but Jojo understood exactly what she was doing. Every parody video meant another algorithm push, every hate comment meant another piece of content circulating her song, and as her latest single racked up dislikes, it quietly gathered streams in the background. But the internet wasn't done with her. Jojo's new song, Betty Davis Eyes, was supposed to mark the beginning of her serious music era, but it quickly became a case study in how public perception can shift overnight. The video launched with a wave of dislikes, tens of thousands stacking up like a scoreboard for the internet's collective disappointment. Scrolling through the comments was like stepping into a stand-up show with lines that were brutally funny and brutally honest. One of the top comments simply read, "Another win for the deaf," while another viewer declared they were on their way to tell a trusted adult. The internet didn't hold back, and Jojo's attempt to reintroduce herself was met with digital tomatoes thrown from every corner. But even this didn't slow her down. While the dust of the backlash was still hanging in the air, Jojo made another move that left people confused. She announced a tour, not a quiet set of shows for a few hundred fans, but a full European tour, extending her rebrand beyond the US and into countries that hadn't asked for it. Some saw it as delusion, others as a money grab. But for Jojo, it was another stage. Comments flooded in with people joking about who would actually attend, questioning who her real audience even was, and sharing memes about being thankful she wasn't performing in their country. Yet, quietly, tickets were being sold, and the cycle of attention kept feeding her brand. Jojo was making it clear she wasn't stepping away, and she wasn't going to hide when the internet turned on her. Instead, she was prepared to take every ounce of mockery and use it to build momentum, even if that meant becoming the internet's favorite target for a while. But beneath the surface of Jojo's relentless strategy lies a deeper question. Is this a desperate attempt to stay relevant, or is Jojo Siwa crafting one of the smartest plays in influencer history? In a world where every scroll is a new distraction, staying relevant isn't about being liked, it's about being talked about. Jojo Siwa has understood this better than most. The internet may flood her comment sections with jokes and clown emojis, but every post, every stitch, and every parody keeps her in the spotlight. And that spotlight is valuable. Jojo's shift from rainbow-saturated children's content to a calculated controversy machine was never about pleasing everyone. It was about capturing attention in a crowded space where silence is a death sentence for relevance. By leaning into the chaos, Jojo keeps the conversation centered on her, regardless of whether it's praise or criticism. When Jojo began duetting parodies, it wasn't just a moment of lighthearted humor. It was a deliberate move to redirect attention back to her song, Betty Davis Eyes. Her caption reminding people to stream the song if they're going to sing it turned every roast into a call to action. And it worked. People returned to the original track to compare it with the parodies, dropping their reactions in the comments, adding to the engagement, and ensuring the algorithm continued to push her content to wider audiences. Jojo turned every negative video into an advertisement, letting the internet do the work of spreading her name. For most artists, thousands of dislikes would be a sign to pivot or apologize. For Jojo, it was data. The more people talked, the further her reach extended, and the more streams she quietly collected in the background. Even if a viewer clicked just to see what was so bad about her new music, it counted as a play, adding up over time. She wasn't trying to convert critics into fans, she was leveraging them to amplify her presence. Jojo Siwa's ability to transform herself into a living meme allowed her to benefit from the internet's appetite for spectacle. She knew that every laugh, every share, and every stitch mocking her was still keeping her name alive in an industry where yesterday's trends are quickly forgotten. Announcing a European tour while facing backlash might have seemed like the worst timing, but for Jojo, it was another extension of the strategy. Every comment questioning who would attend or why she was even going was free promotion. The confusion and criticism became marketing, pushing her name across timelines and conversations globally. Jojo's career has entered a phase where controversy isn't a setback. It's the business model. Every parody video, every critical comment, and every dislike is a piece of content that fuels the machine she has built around her name. But as Jojo Siwa continues to embrace the chaos, it leaves one question. How long can she ride this wave of backlash before it turns into a storm she can't control? As we continue, the reality behind Jojo Siwa's endless wave of backlash begins to reveal something deeper about how fame works in today's world.